afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jan Bridges, and I'm part of the Nationwide Travel Management team, and I will be moderating today's training. With me, we have Simke Gopaldas, who will be presenting today's training, and we also have Denise House, who is the Director of Nationwide Travel Management, who will be on the call with us as well. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. This session is being recorded, and at the end of this presentation, we will advise you where you will be able to locate the presentation and review and print it if desired. Questions may be submitted during the presentation. The question and answer box is located on the lower right-hand side of the screen. Submit your questions to all panelists. Technical issues may also be submitted using the Q&A box. I will now turn this over to Simke, and she will take it from here.
Thank you, Jan. Welcome, everyone, to the first of the webinars that will be presented by the Meetings and Travel Department. These webinars are designed to be your resource library. Kind of think of them as an online college curriculum. Each webinar is going to be short, easy to complete, and you'll be able to choose from a host of topics based on just you want to learn about. As we develop out the curriculum, and you'll be hearing from, in the next 2 weeks, from the other 3 departments after the iTravel, you'll be hearing from Attendee Management, iVirtual, and the iMeet. They'll all be posted in the Meetings and Travel section on Society Source, so be on the lookout for that. So today, Travel 101 is the first in the series, and our main objective today is to provide staff with a preliminary guide to travel information. And now I know some of you are going to hear this information again. It might be a review for you, and for others it might be new. But either way, if it's new information or even a review, our expectation for today and all the others is that you take away what you learned today and share it with your staff, because you're the ones that are connecting with them on a daily basis. It's very helpful even for the new staff that are onboarded at the Society. We're looking more towards your team to help us channel this important information across Meetings and Travel down to our end users. Before I get started with the Travel 101, I just want to make a very, very important distinction. The Travel 101 presentation is not and does not replace the travel tutorial that's an e-learning course on Society Pathways. That is a required course for staff whose job function involves travel. I'll get into more detail during the presentation about that, but I did want to make everyone aware of that distinction before we got started. Denise, would you like to add anything to that?
No.
So let's go ahead and get started with the Travel 101. Here on the screen, you can see the Nationwide Travel Team. It consists of Terry Clay, our Vice President, Nationwide Meeting and Travel Management, Denise House, Director, Nationwide Travel Management, myself, Simke Gopaldas, Operations Manager, and Jan Bridges, Senior Coordinator, Nationwide Travel Management. Please feel free to reach out to any one of our team members at any time if you have any travel questions or issues. During this course, there are a few topics we'd like to cover, namely, why does the Society have a travel expense policy? Who does the travel expense policy apply to? How do I book individual business versus meeting travel? And what do I need to know to book individual business travel? And also, how do we establish a travel profile? Who are the Society's preferred travel suppliers? And last but not least, latest news and contact information. And as I mentioned before, and I'll probably mention it throughout the series, throughout this presentation, that this Travel 101 does not replace the e-learning tutorial that's on Pathways that's a requirement for staff whose job function involves travel. Why does the Society have a travel and expense policy? Well, there are 2 main reasons. Their duty of care and duty of loyalty. I'm going to go ahead and read the definitions for both because they're very clear. Duty of care means that corporations and employers are required to take all steps which are reasonably possible to ensure an employee's health, safety, and well-being. And also, by duty of loyalty, the definition is it means that employees must act for the benefit of the organization and not for personal benefit or opinion. It requires undivided loyalty to the organization. And finally, it is the duty of the employee not to compete with the interests of the corporation. So really, ultimately, it is the employee's responsibility to read and comply to the T&E policy in its entirety. A link to the policy and a related FAQ are located in the iTravel section of the Meetings and Travel Management tab on Society Source. And we will show you where to locate this information at the end of the presentation. Who does the travel expense policy apply to? Well, it applies to our volunteers. It also applies to our staff as they travel on behalf of Inc. and CAN. It also applies to vendors, consultants, and contractors. Really anybody who is traveling on behalf of ACS Inc. and ACS CAN doing business. The T&E policy and its related FAQ are reviewed by the finance team, the legal team, and as well as our nationwide travel team on an as-needed basis. How do I book individual business travel and meeting travel? Well, firstly, it's really important to distinguish the difference between the two. Individual business travel must be booked via the Society's online travel booking tool when staff are traveling individually and not as part of a group that requires a meeting registration website. And on the other hand, meeting travel must be booked via a meeting registration website when 10 or more travelers are gathering for an ACS meeting. So for example, if I were traveling to New York to visit a colleague and it was not part of any set-up meeting by ACS, I would book via the online travel booking tool, and that would be referred to as individual business travel. On the other hand, if I had a meeting registration website set up with 10 or more ACS travelers, that does require a registration website, and it will include a travel link, and that will be considered meeting travel. What do I need to know to book individual business travel? BCD Travel is the Society's official travel management company. All travel, including air, car, hotel, and rail, must be booked using the Society's online travel booking tool, which is provided by BCD Travel and commonly referred to as Concur. So to get started, you're going to need a travel profile if you yourself are traveling or even if you arrange travel for others. How do I establish a travel profile? Well, if a newly onboarded staff or even if an existing staff member's job function changes to involve travel, it's going to be the manager's responsibility to assign them the travel tutorial. And the name of the travel tutorial is Nationwide Volunteer and Staff Travel and Expense Overview Tutorial. It is not the Travel 101 that we're talking about today. It takes about 48 hours from the time the tutorial is completed to secure a travel profile. So if you're a manager, it's very important for you to identify early on which of your direct reports requires travel or even arranging travel for others so you don't avoid any delays at the back end. Both managers and staff can refer to a complete list of instructions in the iTravel section on Society Source, and managers also have a second resource. It's just the Manager's Resources page on Society Source. Again, the travel tutorial is the e-learning Society tutorial and is not the Travel 101 that we are talking about today. What are the Society's preferred car and hotel suppliers? Well, when booking via the online travel booking tool, staff must utilize one of the preferred suppliers for car and or hotel. The Society's preferred suppliers for car rental are Enterprise National and Avis Budget. The Society's hotel preferred suppliers are Hilton Worldwide and Best Western. The Society has also actually negotiated preferred hotels with The Society has also negotiated preferred hotel rates with select hotels based on a proximity to an office location. These rates are referred to LNRs, which are locally negotiated hotels. If you want to see a complete list of these local negotiated hotels, they're available in the iTravel section in the Meetings and Management tab on Society Source. Here I'll talk about two specific LNR hotels, and they just happen to be part of our chain-wide Hilton and Best Western chains. So when the Society has also negotiated these because of their location to a Society office, which is here at the corporate center. They're also going to include ancillary services such as Wi-Fi, parking, and breakfast. So if staff are visiting the corporate center here in Atlanta, they are required to stay at one of these two hotels. They're required to stay either at the Hilton Garden Inn Atlanta downtown or the Embassy Suites Atlanta at Centennial Park. The room rates at both of these include the ancillary benefits that I mentioned earlier, complimentary breakfast, high-speed internet access. What are the Society's preferred cargo truck suppliers? The Society's preferred travel suppliers for reserving cargo vans and box trucks are Enterprise and Budget. These specialty vehicles actually cannot be booked via the online travel booking tool, and instructions on how to book them are located in the iTravel section on the Meetings and Travel Management tab. There's a special form that needs to be completed and then sent over to the vendor, who will then book and secure your cargo van or box truck for you. Where can I find travel resources? All the information that we reviewed in the Travel 101 slides thus far can be found in the Employee Services section of Society Source. So if you log on to Society Source, click the Employee Services tab at the top, it's the blue one, scroll down to see Meetings and Travel Management, and click over to the right on iTravel. You can also reference the quick links on the right-hand side of Society Source, and that will bring you to iTravel. It will also bring you to the other areas, iMeet and iVirtual. And remember, if you have any travel questions, you can always use the help desk platform that the Society has formulated, helpme.cancer.org, and submit your questions using the iTravel request form. Latest news and contact information. So how do you stay in touch, or how do you contact us if you have any questions? Well, Society Source, like I said, is your one-stop shop for all travel information. You'll be able to find forms, information on preferred suppliers. We even have a link on our page, which is called Recent Communications, and that'll provide you all the e-Society communications that were sent out throughout this year. So in case you missed anything about our contracted rates, etc., you can just refer to that link and it'll pull everything up for you. Helpme.cancer.org is the Society's help desk platform. We're requesting that you use the iTravel request form, which is located on the left-hand side of that platform. Tickets that are sent using this form are directly routed to our business unit so that we can quickly answer and get that information out to you. And finally, Yammer. You want to stay connected. You want to join our Yammer group, the iTravel Yammer group. We post travel news, process changes. We promise not to put any non-travel related items out there, so it's really a good place to stay abreast with your latest travel information. And like I said, as we're developing out the meetings and travel curriculum, the webinars, be on the lookout for the next series. The next series for us is Travel 102. It's the online travel booking tool. And in this series, you'll be able to find out how to access the online travel booking tool and how to update your travel profile. Thank you. And I will open that now up to the questions.
Okay, thank you, Simke. That was a great presentation, and it looks like we might have a few questions already. But please continue to submit your questions in the Q&A box located in the lower right-hand side of the screen and submit to all panelists. And really, if you have questions, any question is welcome, and this is a great opportunity for you to do so because we've got some good experts in the room right now. So let's start with one of our questions. So Simke, here's a question. What should my manager do if they cannot see the tutorial in Society Pathways to assign to me?
That's actually a very good question. The assignment should be in the manager drop-down list on Society Pathways. However, if it's not and your manager cannot see that, you or your manager can submit a ticket, again, using the iTravel request form on helpme.cancer.org. We will review that and send that over to the Pathways team. There may be an assignment issue, or there may be something that they can do or they will do to get that assignment set up, and then you can follow the instructions to get your profile set up.
Okay, great. That's very helpful. Here's another question. Do you suggest, and I think you did, that we share this course with our staff?
Yes, most definitely. We have set up in Meetings and Travel these webinars for you to share with your staff, because you contact them and you're in touch with them on a daily basis. We want you to use this as your resource library across all the departments, iVirtual, iMeet, iTravel, and the attendee management team. It's kind of like your go-to place for quick, short information that you can share.
Okay, here's a great question. They're all great questions, but this is a good one. Is this training listed as part of the standard onboarding process? We might turn that over to Denise.
Well, currently it's not. We are just in the midst of developing this curriculum. So currently these curriculums are not part of the onboarding process. But as we develop them out, we will continue to work through that process to see how we can get these tutorials as part of the onboarding process.
Okay, here's another question. When booking air travel, why can't you cancel one flight instead of the entire trip? Well, that will certainly be covered in our upcoming courses, which will be in regard to booking travel through the tool. But when you book air, you can actually cancel the air portion by going to the itinerary in your booking. When you go back to your to concur, pardon me, and then you would go to the upcoming trips tab, and on that tab it'll open up your itinerary, and from there you have different options on what you can cancel, or you can even add, say, information like a hotel if you have an air booking. What you cannot do is we do not want you to change your air through the online travel booking tool. Changing air reservations is complicated and can often involve a lot of money. So in that case, we do want you to call VCD Travel to make airline changes, but other changes, such as canceling hotels or cars, adding new cars, hotels, canceling your air can be done through the tool, and we will cover that in future trainings. Let me see. Okay, here we go. When will the Travel 101 curriculum be posted?
As I mentioned earlier, all the series in the curriculum will be posted in the Meetings and Travel Management section on Society Source. It should be, this particular Travel 101 should be posted perhaps by the end of the week, and we'll send that out to the people who are on the call today as well. So be on the lookout. Meetings and Travel Management community, the webinars will be posted there.
Well, okay, I think that we're about ready to wrap this up today. You know, you can always give us a contact through the help.me.cancer portal. Sorry, that's a mouthful to say. So always feel free to submit questions at any time, but please use the helpme.cancer.org portal and the iTravel request form. By doing so, it comes right to our business unit, and it's also reviewed. Our tickets are reviewed throughout the day. It's much easier and more effective to contact us through the Help Me portal than to try to contact us individually, because we could be doing a class just like today. So at any rate,
there is another question in the box.
Okay, so I missed that. Sorry. Okay, see. It's okay to cancel air travel through the booking tool, just not okay to make changes. Yes, that's correct. Air travel can be canceled through the booking tool. All reservations can be canceled through the tool. So what we don't want you to do is to make airline changes through the tool. Hotel changes, car changes, those certainly can be done so through the tool. Air just gets complicated when you start considering all the airline fees and so forth that are out there these days.
And I just have one other thing to add, and I know Simke and I think even Jan both kind of touched on this. The expectations here with what we're doing with these Travel 101 and future curriculum. From where we sit in managing and having tickets come through the Landesk Help Me platform, we see a lot of questions from new staff and maybe staff whose role has changed and are now either making travel arrangements or now traveling on behalf of the society. So we are developing this curriculum, or these curriculums, I should say, to try to accommodate some of the questions that we see on a daily basis. So we figure we would start with the very basic, and then we'll build on that. So if you would, for anyone that you know are new to the society and that are coming on board, if you will direct them, if you're getting questions, if you could please direct them to the iTravel page, and even in the other 4 areas once you've had those trainings, so you are aware of what resources are out there for you, and you can help us to direct those new travelers or new staff to the resources so they can get their questions answered. If you can imagine with the number of employees that we have and the number of travelers that we have, sometimes things get stuck, and we just want to make sure that we use you as a resource, that you can direct individuals to these curriculums so that they'll have a resource that they can refer to as well when it comes to travel.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Denise and Simke. That's been great information. We also want to make sure that you complete today's survey questions, and that will pop up when you close out of the meeting. As mentioned earlier, today's session has been recorded and will be posted on the iTravel community in the Meetings and Travel section on Society Source, along with a separate posting of just the slide deck. If we did not get to your question today, we will reach out directly to you, but I think we've got everyone covered. So we really want to thank you for taking the time to join us for this training today, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Or is it Thursday? Thank you all.